You dig what I'm saying? If they all hollers, I'm a counterfeit. Yeah, I wanted money, I couldn't enjoy class.
It's your boy, yadiiiigg, 4 eyes, 2 G's, and today I'm here to discuss Smokepurpp, a recent up-and-comer out of the Florida scene who is looking to make the transition from SoundCloud to Billboard. And after coming out with a brash and in-your-face style of aggressive and ignorant trap bangers that helped to put him onto the map, Smokepurpp has been undergoing some very noticeable stylistic changes over the last few months. In place of his self-produced, heavy-hitting, minimalistic trap bangers was more low-key, druggy, and atmospheric production courtesy of people like TM88, and in place of these unmelodic and repetitive mantras that form these banging chant-like choruses were these much more melodic, much more auto-tuned and much more refined sing-rapping hooks. Not to suggest that his old style of music is completely dead, because something like Audi is more reminiscent of that Purpp, but it only takes a listen of his recent material to realize two things. Firstly, that his sound is evolving and it's changing, and then secondly, it's easy to pick out the influences for this new sound, of which Lil Uzi Vert and Travis Scott stand out as the two most obvious inspirations for Smokepurpp, and have been requested a few times to discuss the idea of Purpp being a biter and a clone. So to address the elephant in the room straight off the bat, is Smokepurpp a biter and is he a clone? And before we go any further guys, I just want to make sure to say to follow your boy on all social medias, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Also make sure to like, subscribe and turn on notifications please. But let's get back to it. Is Smokepurpp a biter and is Smokepurpp a clone? And while I would definitely say that Purpp is a biter, I wouldn't go as far as to say he is necessarily a clone. And before I begin to discuss if it even matters whether he is a clone or a biter, let's discuss his most recent output where the biting is most obvious, on songs like To The Moon or Interlude or Glock Inside My Benz. From his pitched up auto-tuned vocals that are very similar to Travis Scott's use of auto-tuned post-rodeo, to his ad-libs where the moans and the sounds are almost indistinguishable from the way that Travis Scott ad-libs, to the extent that when people heard Smokepurpp's ad-libs on the Glock Inside My Benz snippet, people actually thought it was Travis Scott because of how similar the two's ad-libs were, and then even get into his delivery on a track like Glock Inside My Benz, which is relaxed, lethargic, and in a register and flow that is not too far from Lil Uzi Vert's signature delivery. So, it's clear that when you listen to some of these tracks that Smokepurpp is nabbing some of Travis's and Uzi's signature characteristics to evolve his own sound, and his fans have taken notice as well, and they have been very vocal, and some have dismissed him for switching up and changing his sound, and have outlawed him as a biter and as a clone. However, does it really matter that much at this stage? Smokepurpp is still yet to release his first project, and is still finding his feet and finding his sound. Remember, Travis Scott didn't come out with an original sound out the gate either, and especially his earlier work on Alpha and before was a hybrid between cloning Kanye and cloning Cudi. Songs like Love Sick or Analog or Hell of a Night were hugely reminiscent of Kanye and Cudi, and people were very critical of Scott at this time, and even someone like Young Thug was heavily influenced by Wayne on his earlier projects, and sounded very much alike his idol, and people from the new school have taken inspiration from people like Chief Keef as well. Someone like Playboi Carti was basically a copy and paste Chief Keef on some of his earlier songs. So generally speaking, the sounds that artists come out with, initially at least, are a heavy emulation of their inspiration, until they are able to progress that sound that they are inspired by, build on it, and develop that into their own sound. But even then, their own sound a lot of times is a continuation and an expansion of that original sound that they were inspired by. For example, as Young Thug has progressed and come out of his shell creatively, even though he's no longer sounding exactly like Lil Wayne, there is still remnants of Wayne's influence in his sound. And that's why I'm not quick to dismiss Purpp or hate on him. He's still very new to this sonic aesthetic, and naturally he's working his way through pre-existing sounds and styles that he likes, taking influence from Travis here or Uzi there in order to work it into his own sound and develop into his own artist. It would be different if Deadstar was his 5th or 6th project, and rather than developing an original style, he completely switched up his sound 3-4 years into the game to bite what was popular. So, I'm excited for Deadstar, and I genuinely think that Purpp is one of the few artists coming out right now that is showing potential with his sound, and is really looking to take his music career seriously. Even though I like someone like Lil Pump, his sound is very one-dimensional, and it isn't one that would really work across the length of a full project. Like, imagine a project full of D-Roses and bosses. Although on an individual song level it would be hard, as a complete body of work it would be lacking. Whereas I think with the presentation, the direction and the rollout with Deadstar, you can tell that Purpp is really trying to make a statement with this project. He knows that everyone is watching, and he knows that this is an opportunity to prove himself as an artist, so he is taking it very seriously. And on top of these factors, as much as you can hate on Purpp for biting Travis or Uzi, at the end of the day, the music he's releasing is still good, and I like his recent efforts a lot. I love songs like Lock Inside My Benz and Different Color Molly and To The Moon, and although he is wearing his influences on his sleeve, it's not like when I hear Glock Inside My Benz when I'm out, I'm gonna go around the dance floor telling people to stop dancing to it because he's biting Uzi and that's not acceptable. No, it doesn't take away from my enjoyment of it. Whether he bites X or Y or Z is irrelevant to my enjoyment of that record. It might affect the respect or the admiration I have of Purpp as an artist, but it won't be a barrier between me enjoying the music. As I said, there is no denying that Purpp is biting Travis, Uzi or that sound in general, but for an artist who is still so fresh and new to the game, it isn't exactly surprising that he sounds alike his inspirations at this stage, so it isn't entirely fair to judge, dismiss or downright hate or abuse Purpp for his new sound just yet. Take it for what it is. If you enjoy it, and if you don't, you don't. But this progression of his sound is a good sign, as it shows that Purpp is serious about his craft and wants to be taken seriously as an artist past the ignorant trap bangers that got him known. And if the songs he has released leading up to Deadstar are anything to go by, we could be in for a great project that could blow him up. Alright guys, that's all for me today. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure to let me know what you think about Purpp and if you're excited for Deadstar or not. Please like, subscribe and follow me in all social medias for more.